Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Back on Tangent podcast. Today, it's me, your boy Blake, as always, hosting, and with me is the other guy who hosts this, Kyle Jenkins. Kyle Jenkins, how you doing today?
That's Mr. No, I'm just kidding.
So I'm sorry, Mr. Kyle J. Jenkins is with me today.
Cool,
Kyle, how you
thanks.
doing?
I'm good. It's hot. It's warm. And I don't just mean the takes on this podcast. I mean like the weather is.
Oh,
I know, yeah. Even I couldn't commit to that bit. Uh, it's so warm here in this place that I live.
is it true that your country doesn't have like air conditioning because all the buildings are made before the year 1200?
That is true. Yes, that's 100% fact.
I'm being serious. Like, is that actually like? Is there just not a lot of air conditioning?
It's it. We don't have air conditioning not because our buildings were made before air conditioning. That's not the reason. The reason is that it's never normally this hot, and the houses are built of like brick or whatever, so it kind of, I don't know. There's airflow. I don't know. You'd have to take it up with some kind of build-up, but the point is, it's never normally really hot and never normally really cold. It is for the people, obviously, but like, largely it is not what someone who lives in a more tropical or harsh environment might call hot or cold, you know?
I don't do well in the hot, man. I sweat too much.
No, yeah, and there's only so many layers.
I'm a sweaty man.
You certainly are, a big sweaty nerd. But there's only so many layers of clothing you can remove before it's a felony, you know? Whereas when it's cold, just keep putting them on. You know, until you look like one of those people doing like one of those t-shirt challenges where they're just putting 100 t-shirts on at once and they're just like a big sumo suit now, like, you know, waddling around.
You look top heavy.
Yeah, you can do that. You can just do that to infinity, and then you're warm.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're doing poorly, because that's great.
Thanks.
And today we're going to be talking about season 1 of Loki, or should I say, season 1, part 1 of Loki.
Season 0.5 of Loki.
Oh.
Where's the rest of season 1?
That's, I'm demanding it already. So the latest Marvel show has ended, and because we don't review anything except Marvel things on this podcast, we're going to be talking about it. So Kyle, Loki season 1, general thoughts. Give it to me in a tweet.
Okay, can I just send you like a GIF with no text?
Yeah, sure. This is an audio medium, so that might be bad for the listener.
Okay, well, for the benefit of the listener, I'm sending like the GIF of when Loki is first in the TVA, and he's like, "Don't poke me, machine," and then says, "This is fine as Guardian leather," and it evaporates all his clothes off, and he's like, "Oh," and he's just, just the crotch is obscured by like a metal arm or whatever, but the rest of him's like completely in the buff. That's what I'm sending.
And that describes that's your thought on Loki.
Yeah. I'm laying my thoughts bare, as it were.
A mostly nude Tom Hiddleston.
Yes.
Well, I wish I could send you a big, I wish I could send you an image of Owen Wilson sleeping in a little bed, and he's dreaming, and it's Owen Wilson on a jet ski, but then suddenly someone comes over with like a cartoon needle, and they pop that dream up.
Like that dream was popped for so many.
Yes, it was. And but seriously though, I think I enjoyed Loki a good amount. It might be my favorite. I don't know. WandaVision's kind of grown on me.
I think it opened the strongest.
Definitely, yeah.
I mean, I think whatever the first one was always going to come under scrutiny because I know they swapped that around. I think.
Yeah.
But like, I think Falcon and Winter Soldier was meant to come out first, and then something happened you wouldn't believe. But I do think that this is the strongest, no matter what way you look at it. It's probably even the strongest Marvel thing this year, like taking into account Black Widow and just Black Widow.
Yeah, no. even if it isn't, I don't know. WandaVision has grown on me, but I think Loki might be better. But I think I just like WandaVision more. But
I think there was nowhere in this show that was sort of a low point to the extent that the others had low points.
Yeah, I agree. I'll totally agree with that.
Yeah.
It felt really like it didn't feel like there was any fat on it. Like they were just like
it
going
felt solid. And while there's definitely quieter moments, like people were not happy with episode 3 because it's largely character stuff with almost like no action. I believe it's episode 3. And then episode 4 came out and it was everyone's favorite episode, and I'm like convinced that was a kind of two-parter situation. You know, but they didn't do that because there's only like 6 of these episodes. Because it's, you know, it'd be silly.
To do a part 2 in the middle of the season.
But yeah, and I mean, and these aren't really television, are they? They're just like, it's just a long movie.
Do you think, and this is a general question for some of the Marvel shows, but more specifically Loki, since we're talking about it, do you think this show would work better if you watched it all at once, or do you think the week-to-week thing has helped it? Because this is something I've thought about for every series so far.
The hype, I think, can work against it. The theorizing, the like, where is Mephisto this week? Like that.
John Krasinski?
Yeah, John Krasinski, big question mark. But, you know, but I think either people learnt their lessons, or this show just sort of only alluded to the stuff that it sort of delivered on. Also, it only feels like the first half of a series. It feels like a mid-season break.
It really does.
But yeah, but like they kept hinting at Kang, and then Kang showed up. Like what? You know, that's it. That you know, it'd be like if Mephisto did show up in WandaVision. It'd be like we dropped a load of clues, and then Mephisto was in it, and also John Krasinski was in it. You know, it would be like if that happened, except you know, narratively satisfying in a way that would not have been.
I felt this series was a lot faster paced.
It was, yeah. Even the slow talky episode that was episode 3, which I enjoyed.
Yeah, like and so that's something I enjoyed. That it was just like some of the other episodes in the other series, I felt the length more. But this one, I was like, it just every episode ended so fast for me. I was like,
it did, yeah. They go down like water, especially in this hot weather.
Especially in this hot weather.
Yeah, and water's all I can drink now because my fridge broke.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you are living like a I was gonna say like a poor little Irish boy, but I don't know if that's offensive to say.
And yet,
but
you'll say it anyway. What a champion of free speech you are.
But the only thing I think that kept me from loving this series more than some of the other Marvel shows so far is I did just kind of want to see Loki doing heists and Loki doing weird heists and stuff.
Yeah.
But it kind of didn't. It pitched us that, but it became something else, which I enjoyed more what it became, I think. But I think it would have been fun just to watch Loki doing like I don't know, stunts and stints. You know,
if this had had more episodes, I think we would have got more of a Doctor Who-esque Freak of the Week type deal, where you know Owen Wilson and Loki have got to go, you know, to a certain point in history and stop a thing or do a thing, you know, whatever. And I would have liked that, and maybe that's what we'll get in season 1.5. You know, I feel like we will build upon that, especially with the revelation that, and you know, spoilers.
John Krasinski is in this.
Yeah, John Krasinski is in it. Yeah. No, Owen Wilson ends up, I guess, stranded in a TVA that is not the one he came from, and no one recognizes him, including his best mate Owen Wilson.
Best friend in the world.
Best friend and potential love interest Owen Wilson. They have more chemistry than him and Sylvie. I just want to, you know.
No, they do. You're right.
People are saying that it's incest, as if like.
No.
They're the same person. They're not brother and sister. They're just like they're the same person.
Yeah. So no, it's not.
It's incredibly narcissistic, like they pointed out in the show, but it's not.
It is. Yeah.
It's only really like a weird extra-dimensional masturbation.
I'd do it. I'd kiss a multi-dimensional version of me.
Exactly.
Wouldn't you? Don't say you wouldn't.
Everyone would. Everyone listening.
everyone listening, you would kiss the whatever preference of sexuality and gender version of
Yeah.
you that came from another dimension.
Yeah.
You totally would, because why would you gotta figure out what it's like. You gotta be like, am I selfish?
Exactly. You've got to figure out what it's like to be kissed.
You have to know. I've never been kissed. I'm too big and sweaty and nerd to have ever been kissed by a
Everyone
woman.
else is repulsed by me, but you know who wouldn't be? Me.
Me. No, I would. Did you think the king reveal worked? Like, do you think that was like wow, or do you think it was?
It was wow for me because I thought I'd have heard for sure in like leaks and rumors that John Majors was in this, that Jonathan Majors was in this, and I didn't. And then just in the last episode, he showed up, and the later they left it, made me more inclined to go. They're not just going to drop a brand new character in to people who don't know what this is, and go, it was him all along. It was a real Agatha all along situation, but again, they did that in one of these, so I guess I shouldn't really be surprised. I don't know. But at least Agatha was in the show all along, as well as being responsible for things. I thought maybe like Casey or Miss Minutes or someone like that would turn out to be Kang in disguise, because I feel like someone like that would keep tabs on the boring agency they set up to run time.
Yeah, I liked the Kang reveal just because. Well, for one, what was funny is that like I was watching the episodes. Like, this character's pretty fun. All right, he's pretty cool. What's going on? And then it took me way too long to realize it was Kang. Like, I think the episode was nearly ended. Like, I think it took me until Loki saw the statue of him, and then it hit me. I'm like,
when he was dressed as Kang.
Yeah, I was dressed. I was like, "Oh, I'm so stupid."
That's
of
so
course.
Strange. The second it was like the second Jonathan Majors appears on screen, I'm like, "Holy shit, they're doing it!"
Well, because I guess I forgot he was cast as Kang. I just completely forgot about it because I don't care about anime, so I just didn't know at all.
Follow that nerd shit, despite being a big sweaty nerd.
So. Do you think he's going to be the big bad of Phase 4 or Phase 5? What do you think?
I don't know that we'll get Thanos-level big bads anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Or at the very least, we won't get one for a long time. Because, I mean, there's so many options that they're probably going to do. Like Kang, like Doctor Doom, like a third one. You know?
Yeah. I think Doctor Doom would be the most interesting for me. As a villain, if they were to do like a big, just because
it requires a lot of faith in the Fantastic Four franchise.
Well, it
doesn't.
Be putting
that in there until the second movie has gone well.
Like, I think you could just do Doctor Doom and not do Fantastic Four. It is possible. Could. Like, I think you could just introduce, because there's a good amount of Marvel characters they did without prior stuff before it. Like,
I mean, like. Everyone had their start in, like, the Fantastic Four. Well, you know, a lot of things that they've done have had a start in Fantastic Four, and the Fantastic Four doesn't exist here, and stuff like that. Like, I mean, well, Black Panther, namely. Black Panther, you know, debuted in Fantastic Four comics.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hey, they did a Venom movie without Spider-Man. Look how well that turned out.
Yeah.
Your favorite movie,
Which
Venom.
is better upon rewatch, but, like, not a great movie.
I won't watch it.
Certainly doesn't make
sense. Never have, never will.
Yeah.
Haven't seen Joker either. Why would I watch something like that? It's dumb. But, sorry for everyone who likes Joker, but you're wrong. And I don't care if they get mad at me. I hope they do. It fuels me like a Sith. Do you think if they are introducing Kang, do you think so you're not banking on him being a bigger villain in the universe, or just being an Ant-Man and then washing away after that?
I think he'll be all over the place. I think, like, I don't know. I guess you could position him as a big bad simply in the fact that there's so many of him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so he's going to be in Ant-Man 3. We know this, and it's probably not going to be the version that we saw in this because that guy's dead.
Yeah.
And
when I say Kang 2,
really
I don't necessarily mean. I don't mean this version either. I just mean some version of Kang, or maybe variations or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like you could have multiple versions of him show up. Like, you can have a version of him show up in in some capacity in almost every movie or show they do now, because they don't even have to be a character that deals in time travel, because Kang can just show up in their time. He sorts that out himself. Like, not everyone who's had a conflict with Kang has been doing anything time travel related.
Yeah,
he just fucking turns up and causes issues. What a prick.
What a jerk.
Well, he did say himself he's been called a jerk, so...
I do kind of want King, just because, I hope it's not just Ant. I hope he pops up more. I hope we get more of him.
I think for them to just burn him in what is probably going to be an okay movie.
Mm-hmm. That would suck. And, like, Marvel tends to burn through villains a lot.
They do. They love killing them and then doing nothing else with them. Like, fools.
I'm like, dude, no, keep this guy around. He's cool. Jonathan Majors is fun in this role, and I feel like if you do different variations too, that's it's like a buy one get it infinite free. It's like, really well, he's Kang, but this is Kang, but with fire for arms. Like this is
Kang, like, but red.
This is this is the.
I mean, there is a version like that. He's called the Scarlet Centurion. Instead of being green and purple, he's red.
This is King Kong, who's like King plus King Kong.
Yeah,
it's like a big gorilla man.
Yeah, he's what if there was a huge gorilla but wearing the Kang costume?
How good! How good! There are a lot of options you can do now that you established
you could do Rama Tut. Maybe even have him be some kind of connection to the Moon Knight show, because that's all he did.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Moon Knight's abilities or whatever come from some kind of futuristic technology that Kang left there when he was Rama Tut.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Who's Kang but just dressed as a pharaoh. No, he doesn't have any of the Kang colours or costumes or anything. I think he has a green headpiece, but that's it. He's just a pharaoh.
Do you think, okay, because I see you have it written kind of in your notes and we talked about this, but Owen Wilson and Loki going on little adventures together. There was one thing that bothered me about Mobius in this, and you wrote it down too. Why don't you talk about it? The biggest flaw of this show.
The biggest flaw of this show is that Owen Wilson does not get to ride a jet ski.
What the hell was that?
There was so much setup, and that's why this feels like a mid-season.
I want to know when they made this a season 2 thing.
Yeah, it's the only one that's been
officially confirmed. Yeah.
None of the others ended with, and season 2 is coming.
Yeah, there's been talks, but nothing has been
Yeah.
When do you think they knew going into making this that there was going to be 2 seasons, or when they announced that? Was it when they announced the slate of Phase 4 stuff? Did they already have plans for season 2? I kind of want to know.
I could be fully convinced of the idea that they'd have done 8 to 12 episodes of this, 10 to 12 episodes of this, if not for the fact that Tom Hiddleston is probably expensive and difficult to schedule, and there was a pandemic, and
that's a good point.
Or it's a purposeful break for story reasons. We only need to be introduced to the idea of Kang and time travel. Then we're going to have some movies about it, and then we'll wrap that up,
Yeah.
Do you think Kang, in all his forms, would be defeated or resolved in the Loki TV show in however many series down the line?
I think they might do it by the end of... You know what it'll be, I think, in season 2? Loki's I gotta take down Kang, but it's just another, you can take him down, but there's just another version of him, or there's another thing of him. I know, but that'd be lame if they did that again. Like what?
Like whack-a-mole.
Exactly like whack-a-mole. You hit one Kang.
It's the whack-a-mole of villains now. Not that you couldn't do that with all the others now. Now that there's so many diverging timelines, you could go back and you could get Tim Blake Nelson's the leader. You could go back.
Yeah.
He's not dead actually, but you could
go back
and get the Iron.
He's just a little big head.
You could go back and get all of Iron Man's villains that he killed because he's a murderer. You could go back and get any of them and change them in any way that you wanted to make them better, or change the actor because they won't come back, or anything like that. You could just do that and have...
You could get my favorite Iron Man villain, which is the Mandarin, but only when he's like on fire and screaming, "I am the Mandarin," because
Yeah.
that's exactly what a man would do who is a supervillain.
Yeah, that's the most Mandarin thing.
I am the Mandarin.
No, but I did like that. I did like that movie.
I actually do kind of like it. I don't know. It's kind of fun. I kind of like it.
It makes sense because it's a metaphor. You know, America's enemy isn't you know, Asia anymore. It's big business.
It's just some guy in a business suit.
It's not some guy with a Fu Manchu mustache. It's a guy in a business suit. Like, that's the point. Like, yeah, symbolism, synonyms. Yeah. Anyway, let's get far less intellectual than this.
Oh yes, far less intellectual. Talking about the dumb. Yeah, let's get dumb. I think for season 2, there's no way they're not going to try and get other like Marvel people in it, because we know Loki's going to be in it, obviously. But
they got Chris Hemsworth technically.
Yes, they got Chris Hemsworth, but
they got him to voice Throg, the Frog Thor, and they cut it. I mean, these are all going to be built into the contract now, aren't they? To be like, you've got to do this many movies and this many TV shows.
I really think they're going to try and drag some other Marvel people into this. Maybe Doctor Strange, because he's dealing with the multiverse stuff. And I feel like every Marvel show at this point has teased Doctor Strange in some way.
Everyone's tied to Doctor Strange because Doctor Strange was one of the origin movies that, like, I don't know, only performed fine.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I want to see if they can pull it, or if they can do alternate universe takes. I mean, it's so hard to tell what season 2 will be, because we don't know what the multiverse and the timeline looks like now in the MCU.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, it's complete freedom for Loki season 2. You can just, like...
Yeah.
If Chris Hemsworth doesn't want to come in and do some Thor stuff, you just get literally anyone else and say, this is the Thor of this universe. You're not tied down to anything. Complete creative freedom, and by that I mean complete corporate freedom, which, as we know, is always good and never bad.
Yeah,
no,
it's the perfect mix of things.
Yeah,
having to make money and doing everything the same.
Yeah. No, I mean, to their credit, these have at least been good.
Yeah,
you know,
they have.
So far, we haven't suffered too much as a result of Disney's monopoly in terms of our Marvel stuff. Everywhere else, you know, I don't know, I can't speak for that. In terms of people getting paid royalties from the Fox merger, you know, we've definitely things have gone wrong there. But so let's see what's in my notes. I enjoyed Crazy King, as I'm calling it.
That was
crazy
good.
With a K, because Kang also has a K.
I'll enjoy that.
Yep, I like. Because he was just there. He's just like, you know, hundreds of millions of years old. He's just been there.
Eating an apple.
Pouring his coffee or whatever into those little cups. Those little fancy cups. Eating an apple. He's been, you know, there's a view, but like, it's quite dark all the time.
There's a view, but of what, really?
Yeah, of just a line. Of just a big fucking donut. I don't know. Like, not much to look at. Not very stimulating surroundings. I guess you could take a little jaunt literally anywhere in time and history and consume any form of media, or just watch the actual events. But then he's probably already seen all that, and I guess that's why he went crazy. Because he's seen all of human history, and just watching current human history is enough to make you go absolutely batshit and radicalize you to the point of, I don't know, to beyond, almost beyond reason.
You know, with all things considered, he's doing great. Like, when you put it in that...
that's... My mental health wouldn't be like that after all that. Just being alone, but with all the information of all of human history.
And you're just saying human, that's just human history. That's not counting everything else that has happened in the universe.
Do you think he watches, like, the Jurassic period and does his own little David Attenborough narration over the top?
Oh, of course you
would. I'd do that for everything. If I could see everything, I'd just... And that bit would wear so thin. And, like, that fucking clock's turning up and being like, you've really got to get out more and, like, I don't know, make a friend. Maybe you could just walk into the offices of the TVA and you're like, fuck off, Clark. I don't know. I've got to be here. I don't know. Maybe I'm putting myself into the mind of him too much. Maybe not enough.
Like I said, I think he's doing great, all things considered.
Yeah.
Like, he's doing pretty well for himself. He's doing
Yeah.
alright.
He didn't like give himself a terrible haircut just to see, just to like see what would happen.
He hasn't like completely gone crazy. Like, there's some sense to him. You can talk.
There's not like a load of instruments and hobbies that he picked up once to give a try and then like never got into. You know, just strewn around the room, just a fucking guitar there on the floor, a ukulele maybe, something like that. Just like, yeah, I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it when when my schedule clears up.
When my schedule of infinite time.
Yeah, of literally infinite time, either passing or not passing. I don't know. He'll get to it. He will learn
Kyle,
how to bake
this
bread.
feels a little too personal.
I had a great lockdown. I just want to say that on an unrelated note, I got everything done.
Good for you, Kyle.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I liked his performance. Some people are like, that's not kind of Congress because he's not serious.
Shut up, those people. You're wrong.
Yeah.
First off, this is all fake, so it doesn't matter. Second off, I don't care. I want to be entertained, not imitated. Like, I don't need everything to be how I thought of it in my head. Because guess what? Sometimes your ideas aren't the best. Maybe you don't know what's
If your ideas were good, you'd work for them. Maybe they'd give you a job.
And even if they were good, and they should be doing what you're saying, too bad. They're not.
Yeah. But hey, they can always say that there's a timeline somewhere where they did what your ideas.
Ah, yes.
Good.
See, everyone's special in someone's universe.
Yeah. Some characters I enjoyed. I enjoyed B-15, who was like the real hard-ass agent who was like really against Loki, and understandably so. I think
I would be.
I
would be.
She
Asgard
was the voice of reason, and although it ultimately turns out that the TVA bad, sort of when she discovers that, when she's exposed to like proper like compelling evidence to that, she then immediately takes like a hard line against it.
Yeah.
She's like incredibly principled. And I'm like, yeah, now that this person is like anti-TVA, more. We need more from it.
For the record, I don't blame her for being Asgardian racist or Loki racist. I get it.
Yeah, he's a prick in every timeline.
He tried to conquer several worlds. He's a douche. He was friends with Thanos for a bit. That's not good.
Who else? Casey. I'm surprised Casey didn't come back into this. Casey was the one he threatens to gut like a fish because he's got that drawer full of Infinity Stones.
I am shocked, actually.
I'm shocked that he didn't turn out to be someone from the comics. I'm shocked that Infinity Stone he nabbed didn't seem to get used. Did I forget something there, or like?
I don't think so.
Because I don't think he'd load up like a full gauntlet's worth. But I feel like you would take one, like a small one that's like a small rock and not a big cube, or something. You stuff one in your pocket. There was a lot of people not stuffing a thing in their pocket despite being the trickster god of mischief.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that not going on. There was a lot of times he didn't have a temp pad when he maybe should have. And not having an Infinity Stone, knowing that it could be useful. I like the moment of realization it gave to him. This power he's been chasing all this time is literally nothing compared to what the TVA is.
It's so good, isn't it? Like,
it's such a great moment of realization. I think that's in the first episode. You just see his face.
It is,
like, oh.
Yes. Like he just has that filing cabinet, or they have that filing cabinet full of all the Infinity Gems, and they're just like, yeah.
Yeah, we use them as paperweights.
It's like a paperweight.
Yeah, I really like that as an emotional beat, but it could have circled round as maybe a plot beat by like not. Because you don't overdo it. You don't say, like, he gets an Infinity Gauntlet and then he fucks people up. Like, he just steals one stone, and at a certain point later on when he's in danger, he, like, quickly, like, pulls the stone out and uses it in a moment of desperation, and it saves his ass.
Yeah.
And then that's it. Like, I don't know, it gets stolen or destroyed.
I reckon that for what? Okay, we don't know a date for Loki season 2. We don't know. I reckon 2023. I don't think we're getting it next year.
I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if it was next year.
Well, I mean, I guess we don't know how much they have planned. Like, I guess, like I was gonna say, they have to write it and everything, but they probably have it written, don't they?
Yeah.
Or at least have an
It,
outline and
yeah,
know
this
what they're
felt like a
doing.
two-parter, like we say. It's, you know.
Yeah, yeah. But I still think just because of Tom Hiddleston does seem busy, I reckon it's going to be 2023. And I think that because I think they want to work through all the other multiverse movies first. So I think they want to get Doctor Strange done. I think they want to do, assuming Far From Home or No Way Home or whatever the hell it's called.
Spoderman 3.
Um, what?
Spoderman 3.
But do you want to explain that?
Just Spoderman 3. Just the third.
Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire, and the other guy better show up, or I'm going to be kind of upset at this point.
It seems like too much, doesn't it? It seems like way too much in that movie. Because he's not
agreed.
like a time travel character. I know he's time traveled because everyone in the Marvel universe has, but like, I don't know. I guess you could say you could have said the same about Loki, but Loki did it with all completely original characters in the not original in that the movies made them up. I mean, like original in the sense that we've never seen like any of these people in the MCU before, but like
yeah.
I don't know. They're like, hey, what if nostalgia the movie in Spider-Man just because he's had like 2 of the movie franchises.
But I think I'm gonna guess 2023 for Loki. That's my guess because I reckon they haven't even filmed it yet. I reckon they want to get through some of the other Marvel stuff first, and it takes time to make these. Yeah, maybe like early 2023 or something. I don't know. But also we have a lot of other Marvel shows and movies to come out that I don't know. Maybe I that's my guess. That's my guess to make. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I have a theory.
Ooh.
So, all right. So we know they're putting like the Young Avengers together because they've got like all but one now, and Iron Lad is a member of the Young Avengers, but he's also a king. Like he's a king. He's a young king that travels to like, I don't know, the present, and is like, hey, Iron Man's cool. I'm the Iron Lad. I haven't read any of his comics, so I hope that's clear. Yeah. So there's Iron Lad, and he's a king. But we know there's going to be an Iron Heart show.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if they're both young Iron Man adjacent / Iron Man legacy characters, you could merge those into one character.
I agree.
I say having read neither of them.
No, I think you're right. I think they might try and do something like that.
Even if you just do like a full-on, it's just a straight-up Ironheart show. There's no characteristics from Iron Lad or anything like that. But then, twist reveal at some point later down the line, she's a king.
Yes, I think that would be interesting, and they've done stuff like that where they kind of, merged 2 characters and made 2 people kind of the same, just because they the right.
Well, they merged They merged Crimson Dynamo and Whiplash to create Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler. I mean, Mickey Rourke in Iron Man 2.
The Wrestler, everyone's favorite Marvel film.
They merged those 2 characters together.
They did, yes. And
although a lot of people don't like that that character, so maybe it's a bad example, they have been known to just like, they're just like, we're not going to get to all of them because we'd be here forever. So like,
I want my boot.
Yeah, I want my bird.
My bird.
My bird.
It's a beautiful bird. It's from Russia. No, my bird. I love it. I don't care what anyone says.
I'm not against him. I'm not against him.
If
he came back in some kind of multiverse form, I'd be on board with that.
Maybe.
He's merged with another villain. He's merged with the Grey Gargoyle.
Everybody talks about how Iron Man 2, like, I've seen people say it's a terrible comic book movie. It's good. Screw off. I had fun with it. It's a good time. Sam Rockwell's he's great. Maybe I'm not clear enough, but I don't speak Russian. Like it's great. And anyways,
he's good. But yeah, I don't know. It would seem. I mean, maybe it's not ridiculous. Maybe a lot of people would be like, "Hey, I'm gonna put an Iron Man armor on and be a superhero." But like,
yeah,
just like you've got Rhodey in that universe doing an armor wars, and Pepper might
yeah.
lend
I
a
keep
hand
forgetting about Armor Wars.
if they can like remind Gwyneth Paltrow she's in these movies. But like, I don't know if you're gonna do
or remind
her
which movie she's in.
Yeah, if you're gonna do a young Iron Man armor wearing character, and they're gonna get their own show, I don't know. It seems to me like to make a lot of sense to just go, well, let's put these two together. Let's make this one character, and and broaden them up a bit.
I would like that. I think having, like you said, having two kid-related Iron Man would kind of be weird, and I think the twist would be interesting.
Yeah. But I don't know. You could have them be like rivals or allies, or I don't know. You could do the two of them together. You could have Iron Lad appear in the Ironheart show or something. Again, I haven't read like either of them.
Yeah.
I haven't read any of their comics, so I, don't know what either of those.
I think you could also do one of them is in the Dark Avengers, possibly Iron Lad.
Yeah.
Because that's something they're also kind of teasing as well. They're doing a lot, Marvel. They're doing cool stuff. Look at them go. Wonder what DC's up to. Nothing.
And then we look at DC crickets.
We have a Shazam movie coming out.
Oh yeah.
I like Shazam excited.
One, I like Shazam one.
I've been meaning to see it. I've heard it's good. I've heard it's fun. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I really do want to see season 2. I think this show leaves the most open for me.
It certainly does break the world right open, doesn't it? It's like now anything.
Crack it like an egg. But that's exciting. Like that's what I want. Like I want it to open up for it because like I don't want to know what Marvel's doing next. I don't want to be able to guess it. I want them to shock me and surprise me.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's
that last episode was definitely more heavy on implication than substance, but again, probably a 2-parter.
Yeah.
And it's not like, I don't know, there's only 6 episodes usually of these things, so I don't know, you pay for 2 months of Disney Plus to find out when the next series comes out. It's not an unfair exchange.
Yeah. And then for the last 2 weeks of that 2 months, you watch
MODOK.
What is that on? I think that's on.
Yeah, that's on. I'm enjoying it. It didn't have me after the first one. It's Patton Oswalt's like stop motion animation thing where he's MODOK.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a like sitcom, but it didn't grab me after the first episode. But I went back and I'm glad I did. It's quite good.
That's good. I'm glad somebody's watching that series that won't be renewed. I'm excited for season 2, and I'm interested. Like I'd watch a WandaVision 2, but I wouldn't know what the hell they're doing with it. And although I liked it and I would see another season of that, I would just be like, what are you even doing here? Like, what can you possibly...
Yeah.
Falcon and Winter Soldier would kind of be the same.
Fell apart after the TV stuff came away. Like, after that, there's nothing interesting to it. It'd be like if Loki was 8 or 9 episodes, but, like, the first 6 were in the TVA, and they were all about King and time travel and variants and, other Lokis. And then, like, the last 2 or 3 episodes were just, like, he goes and does Thor the Dark World.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, just really great, intriguing opening premise, and then the most boring of the MCU stuff slapped on the end,
2 people flying through the sky shouting, "Remember who you are!"
There's not a lot of fighting in this show, and I think I'm glad of that, because it doesn't look that good when Loki does it.
I agree.
Like, he's doing a dagger fight with people, and I'm like, this is nothing.
It didn't work for me. I totally agree.
Yeah.
But I think the stuff they introduced in the universe in this, or like the characters, that enough carried it,
Yeah.
I think. And I think I like the new characters in this and all the kind of fun new stuff more than I have in the other series so far.
Mm-hmm.
And I I really enjoyed this. I'm really excited for season 2 because I have no idea what they would do, but I want to see it because it's gonna be fascinating, whatever it is, I think.
Yeah.
Time travel's always fun.
Bring Justin Hammer back.
Interdimensional. What?
Bring Justin Hammer back.
Ah, please bring
He's
him
not
back.
dead, but like, you go to a parallel universe where he's not in jail.
That'd be so good.
I don't know.
Bring back Abomination.
Well,
Come on.
He's gonna be in Shang-Chi. Or Shang-Chi.
Yeah, but I want him
yeah.
now. I want him now. I want him again. He's cool.
Yeah.
Bring back it's everyone else's favorite thing. Bring back Thanos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bit of that. But he's nice. He's Thanos, but he's
Thanos,
like,
but
oh, you
nice,
know.
yeah.
I could, but I
Nice nos.
nice enough. Any other thoughts? Any other opinions, theories, facts, figures?
Only a drawing, but it's a bit too crude.
Please don't share that. This is a
Okay.
family show. You fucking cunt. Eh.
Okay. I won't.
Nah,
I'll
you're-
keep my drawing to myself.
No nudity on this family-friendly podcast, you
Alright,
bitch.
if you say so.
Nah, I'll. I mean, it's after hours, you know. And
we need the attention.
I need him, please. Oh, one last thing about Loki before we move on to our word pending segment.
Yeah.
Favorite Loki.
Favorite version of Loki?
Favorite version of Loki.
Tour
Go.
de France Loki.
What? Which one?
So, before they let Loki go on a mission with them,
Yeah.
Owen Wilson and the TVA soldiers are like, all right, so we're after a Loki, and and you know he comes in many different sizes, like, you know, and they show a few different hologram versions of like previous
Yeah.
Lokis, and there's a big yellow one who's like, you know, a big hulking creature. There's one who is like just Tom Hiddleston in a cycling outfit.
Yep.
And but he's dressed exactly the same as like this guy who either won or was disqualified or something from the Tour de France. I sent you an image of it.
Yes.
Like weeks and weeks ago.
I think I remember. I remember.
It's
this
gone.
one.
It's like, I don't remember what the story was, but there was an article as well, like in the place that I found it, and I don't know. It was some weird mishap that went on during a Tour de France, and I just thought it was funny, and it was probably like a DB Cooper situation where they're like, this was Loki, this real world event, Loki did this.
It's kind of weird. Like,
Also, this is another thing that like I learnt when I was discussing this show in work. You know that ship that turns up it gets pruned or whatever, and it ends up in I don't know, at the end of time, and Eliath eats it.
Yeah.
So like, I heard the story after I'd seen that episode about a ship. This ship that was a test run for this cloaking technology or something, and it came back, and various members of the crew were just like fused with the metal, and like they were all like completely mad. I thought I thought that happened somehow. Maybe not to such a dramatic degree, but I thought that was another DB Cooper where it was a real world unexplained event or just odd occurrence. And it turns out it was Loki. You know, he'd been involved in some way. But just by virtue of it being in his TV show.
I guess you could say it was Loki all along.
Yeah, it was Loki all
Cue the
along.
funky music.
Cue the jingle.
It's Loki.
Yeah,
all
so
along.
I'm very gullible is the moral of that story.
I got him to
It
do
just
this
seemed
podcast.
odd. It just seemed really weird. Like
it does seem odd when you put it that way.
because that's not that interesting if it's a fictional story.
Yeah.
A ship went missing, and then that was doing cloaking technology, and then it came back. It's like, yeah,
That's what ships do.
yeah.
They return, hopefully.
Yeah, in my experience, the only time ship goings on are interesting are when they don't come back. You know, when a thing is missing is when it's the most interesting, like DB Cooper. Where is he? We don't know.
Well, he's in Asgard.
He's in Asgard, yeah.
Yeah.
With all that money.
That he can't spend?
Yeah, that means nothing to him. And it's just really fucked with a load of people on Earth.
He just uses fucking doubloons or some shit. Yeah. And he's like, give me cash.
Yeah, like, I really hope that, like, there's a parallel universe of like, BuzzFeed Unsolved, where it's just Loki. And everything is theory Loki. About the disappearance is that it was Loki all along.
Everything. It's like, how did Edgar Allan Poe's death is very mysterious. Yeah. Loki killed him.
Yeah, we watched that one about the most missingest man. Have you seen that?
No, that's amazing.
He's no more missing than anyone else. He was never found. Lots of people were never found.
Yeah.
It was Loki.
The most missingest man is the man who went missing but nobody noticed.
Yeah.
So we don't even have like a trace of him existing. That's how missing he is.
Except people noticed.
Except people
noticed. And they
noticed.
reported him missing, and then he was missing forever.
I don't think he's that missing.
Well, in fact, there were sightings. There were many sightings that really nailed him down. So if anything, he was not very missing at all.
He was. If people kind of know where you could be, that's not missing.
Yeah, if people have got a rough idea, you know.
On you out, BuzzFeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's take on BuzzFeed. I think we can. Take it.
Let's do that.
Let's fight BuzzFeed. Every tweet they put out, just challenge them to a fight. Let's get into a who has more journalistic integrity fight with them, Kyle. I think we could.
Let's not.
Let's do it.
Let's instead move on to our award-pending segment.
I fear them. I do not fear them, but I agree. Let's move on to the next great award-pending segment. I'm gonna get that drum beat going, Kyle. All right, I'll get this beat going. You take us off with those lyrics.
It's Watch This.
Or else. All right, Kyle, why don't you tell
Nailed
the
it every
time.
Nail it every time.
Every time. It's always on cue, always on beat, always on time. What are we about? What are we doing here?
What are we doing? What have I experienced recently?
I usually explain what this segment is, so I'm gonna make you do it.
Okay, so the purpose of this is that we both take turns. We get about 30 seconds each to very quickly and really like unpreparedly tell you about a thing we enjoyed over the last, between the last episode, and try and recommend it to you. And then once we've done that, we each then spend the next 30 seconds trying to pick apart the other person's thing and say, no, do my thing instead of his thing.
And sometimes we're good at it, and other times we're good at it.
Sometimes, most times, it's just nonsense. It's just me going, I liked it. It was good.
So Kyle,
it's a lot of that.
I could start us off this week. I feel like you go first a lot of times.
I do go first a lot, and I have basically nothing prepared, so I have no idea what I'm going to do. So you do yours, and we'll go from there.
Kyle, I didn't know what I was doing until we started that drum beat. So don't worry, I'm right with you.
You're recommending drums. You bought a drum kit.
Drumming. Nah. Alright, let's get 30 seconds on this here clock. And a 3, a 2, and a 1. Alright, so today I want to not recommend, I want to or else helping your neighbor move stuff. I helped my neighbor yesterday move stuff in his storage unit. And although he's a great guy and we had some fun hanging out with him for a while, goodness gracious, am I as sore as a sore man could be. Terrible day, very hot, lots of heavy things. I'd like me a good workout, but no. There you go.
Big sweaty nerd saying he likes a good workout. That's
Oh, I'm sorry. Of course, no. I'm a big. I never worked out ever in my life. No. Thank God. I gotta keep that continuity.
Yeah.
I can't break the canon.
All right then. Let's.
If we break the canon, the universe will fall apart. I'll become a variant. I can't risk it.
Anyway, starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What? Don't count down.
So
what
I'm or elsing is what I'm anti-recommending is house hunting. It's not good actually, especially in like 30-degree fucking weather, and that's 30-degree in this country. So whatever system you use, if you use Fahrenheit, I don't know, convert that.
Let me convert that.
So after the episode, look up 30 Celsius in temperature, in your temperature, and go, oof, that's pretty hot.
Oh, that's nothing!
And think about walking around all day in that kind of heat. We didn't have a car.
Oh. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
It was public transport all the way. And let me tell you, sometimes
bad.
you just gotta wait for a bus a long time.
That
or like
sucks.
you go to the train station and everyone else is already in the shade, but you don't want to catch the fucking deadly disease from them, so you don't get to be in the shade. You get to be in like the shit bit that's got no shade almost. Anyway. I feel like I went way over my 30 seconds, so
I think you did too.
I'm ready for your rebuttal, if you wouldn't mind.
I'm gonna do my best here. Alright. In 5, 4, 3. It feels so weird counting down for 5. Okay, we're doing 3, 2, 1. Okay, so Kyle's thing is pretty bad, having to walk around all day, but he got to walk around all day with somebody that I presume he enjoys. My neighbor's alright. I like the guy. He's okay. I like the guy. He's alright. But here's the thing. When two grown men start drinking too much at a Chili's, things get kind of crazy. And then you're like, should I spend another 3 hours with this guy? And then you have to because he's your ride home. And then you're like, man, maybe I made a mistake and maybe I didn't. And I have homework to do. And then I forgot to do my homework because I was very tired when I got home. And now I probably have a C+ in my class. So that's pretty bad.
That is pretty bad. That's a good rebuttal.
Yeah.
But to start mine, it was hot as fuck. And like, I know that might not seem like a high number to experienced heat folk like yourself, but imagine the hottest temperature you've ever been in your entire life, and then you've got to like just walk to like 4 different houses and stuff like that, and go in there. And again, we don't have air conditioning in this country, so I'm going in places, they're not any cooler than outside. You go in,
what is wrong
you
with
see
your
the
country?
house, it's not even worth it. Wasn't worth the viewing. So,
well, I think this has been a good episode of or elsing 2 things, because neither one of us recommended anything.
We anti-recommended some things, but we did not recommend anything. So, if you're going to take anything away from this, people listening, it's don't go outside.
Don't go outside.
Both our things were outside. Maybe
don't
stay
interact
in
with neighbors
and play The Sims. But
that's pretty good.
That is pretty good. However, we did over the course of this episode discover what is the worst thing of all. Worse than going outside for any reason, and that's losing the save in The Sims.
Oh God!
Or any game.
It's so sad. So sad.
So I guess to summarize, there's really no joy to be found anywhere in human existence, and I think if we keep that in our hearts and just hope beyond hope that some almighty time-traveling being could just erase us from existence, then I think we'd all be better off, wouldn't we?
Kyle, you have too high
hopes. Good night, everyone.
There is no God.
No, but there are people from the far-flung future who are so advanced in technology they might as well be. As we know from Thor, probably, sometimes technology can be so advanced it's indistinguishable from magic.
Can it just be magic? Can we just say that it's magic and not have to tie it into a real world thing and just be like, it's just magic, mate?
Well, we know Kang
Don't worry
is time travel. We know Kang isn't magic. We know Kang is technology, and I just thought, bring it back.
I think some stuff should just be magic. Some stuff should just be magic within the universe.
Some stuff should just be magic. Like maybe the Ant-Man stuff, but like, but some things are technology and they make sense as technology.
But some stuff isn't. Like Thor's hammer doesn't have to be tech. It can just be a magic hammer.
I'm fine with Thor stuff being technology. I mean, being magic.
I'm not.
Even.
I want it to be magic.
I want that to be magic. But I'm just saying, they opened up fact, no, they didn't say that. Iron Man said that. Thor said, I'm from a place where magic and technology are one in the same. And I don't... Okay, what does that mean, actually? I guess that's some Doctor Doom shit. That's like some... Yeah, there are spells, but there's also, you know...
Wait, Doctor
cars.
Doom? Fantastic Four?
What?
John Krasinski confirmed?
John Krasinski confirmed? Well, if ever there was a place to lead this episode, it's here.
There it is, everybody. Thank you all for listening to our review of Season 1 of Loki.
It was nice and short and concise and only on topic.
Next week, nothing. We have nothing planned.
Who knows? The Suicide Squad comes out here on the 30th, so I'm going to see it then. But then what's going to happen
you
for
lucky
you?
Bastard. Definitely tell me what you think when you see it.
Will do. Maybe I'll even get a head start on my notes.
Ooh.
I never do that
and
for
not
anything
write
else.
Them. And not write them the 10 minutes
shows.
before you start an episode.
Yeah, all of our notes always come like, well, all of mine at least, come about 10 minutes before we are due to start this thing.
Somehow yours are always more panicked and like you're writing them right before the show. But like
you say somehow, but like I just said, that's how they come about. They always
panic
them before the show.
No, but like that's what you're doing, but they come out concise and they make sense. Mine, I sometimes will take while watching a thing and they make no sense at all. Sometimes they're just words. Like they're not sentences, they're just
Well, mine are just words also, but
No, but yours is like a sentence, there's like vocabulary and grammar.
Oh my God.
And like some of mine are just like
some of yours are just emojis.
Yeah, they're just emojis. Like they're not even like real thing. Like one of them
is the hieroglyphics of its day.
I'm writing like ancient Egyptians.
Yeah, which is fine for the Rama Tut stuff in regards to King, but like the other stuff, I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't.
Oh God.
Black Widow, John Krasinski confirmed.
Confirmed.
What does that look like? Hieroglyphics.
It's just so it's a spider.
Spider, yeah, of course. Solid start.
And then it's a guy in an office outfit.
It's like a briefcase and then a man with a beard man emoji.
Yeah, so it's that, but it has like an arrow pointing to the spider, so it's like, okay, man in spider, and then it's a check mark after all of that.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Man in spider confirmed.
Yeah.
With a number 4 somewhere in there.
Yeah, number 4, a big 4 emoji.
And then you post that on your video as like the video thumbnail with like the shocked ghost emoji face, like the one that looks like he's just seeing like a ghost.
Yeah.
And then you circle all of that in a red outline. And then you give the video title just keywords. It's not a title, it's just Black Widow John Krasinski confirmed